Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a little while since I've done this, but today I'm just gonna catch y'all up on what I've been doing, what's coming in the future, since, there's a little more to do now with this channel. But first, we will start off with that. I'm kidding. No, this is a 7th gen housing that's been torn down, pretty beat up. It's missing clips because it was my first time opening it up and they broke off. Click wheel, battery, the hard drive's still good, the battery's kind of shot, but it's okay for the device that I made with it. The device that I did make with it ended up being what I call Blackout. Blackout is a 128 gig iFlash Solo modded iPod with a 2000 milliamp hour battery inside of it. These batteries, the OG batteries, fit right up in here, and the new battery that I got is about double this, so it comes down into about right here and comes down and plugs in. So it is a much bigger battery. I think this is 650 milliamp hour battery. It's not a large one. I love it. It's a 7th gen. Sorry, I was kind of busy. I saw something on my desk not working anymore. Y'all really can't see that right now, but go into settings, go to brightness, and turn it down for you, right? Y'all can see that, right? Turn down my lighting. There we go. Here. 4. So now y'all can see it. Since 128 gig SD card is only really 118 gigs, it's not it's not a proper 128 due to formatting and redundancy, in case that data or something gets corrupt and gets put. There is a backup for the drive to be in. That's why it is not that big. So settings wise, if I go, sorry, it's been a little while since I've done this, guys. I have 9.4 gigs used out of 120 or 118, which means I have 109 gigs left. Most of it is audio. There's a couple videos, no photos on there yet. If I upload all my photos, there's probably at least 10 or 15 gigs of photos alone. I have breached the 1,000 track barrier. Woohoo! I have 1,123 tracks, 11 videos, 18 podcasts, which I'm actually updating today since I subscribed to a new podcast. 0 photos, 3 games, which I'll get into in a little bit and compare it to the 5th gen video, and we're going to talk about games for these devices here in a bit. But come back. And 0 contacts because I have a phone and who uses, I bet somebody does on our Discord, somebody uses a contacts on their device. And then that's all gibberish that you don't really need to see. So, pro to these, is that we'll zoom out for you. Roll away. There we go. Pro to these is that they are now, sorry, no, my computer's going. Sorry about that. Pro to these is that This is not a 7th generation. This is called the 6.5 generation. A lot of, in the community, there is a huge thing about a 6th gen, 7th gen, what is it? Since essentially, they look basically identical with each other. If you get 2 silver pods, you can't tell really which is a 7th and which one is a 6th. That's because they are basically identical pods. Now, the 6th generation had, I believe, 80 gig model and 128 gig model. 80 gig model was the thin variant, 120 gig was the thick variant. Then they released late 2008 the 6.5 gen, which was, it's considered the 7th gen on Apple's website, but all of us modders with iPods call it the 6.5. Since the 6.5 only came in 120 gigs in a thin variant, since hard drive technology then got thinner and didn't have to be dual stack height drives, they made the 6.5, which is 120 gigs only, and then the 7th gen came around, which was 120 gigs as a thin variant, 160 gigs as a thick variant, and that's the 7th gen. Now, the 6.5 is a 7th gen, but not, because the 6.5 has a limitation of 128 gigs of storage. So if I put 256 in here, it will only see 128. It won't see any more than that. That's just due to its manufacturing process and all. Now, I'm okay with that. I only need about 128 gigs right now because I've only reached 1,000 tracks, and that's only almost 10 gigs. That's not a lot. 128 gigs can hold approximately about 40,000 tracks comfortably, I think. No, correction, 15,000 tracks comfortably. You could squeeze more onto it, but it probably won't like it. But these pods have, I think, a 40,000 track limit where they start to bug out. Apple advertises it as 50,000, but if you go above 45,000, they start getting really unhappy about their RAM, since these don't even have a gig of RAM at all, or they have less than, I think, half a gig of RAM. And so they are wonderful. I've actually built this from scratch. This, or not scratch. Y'all saw, this is its, corpse, in a way. And it is a black quick wheel, black home button, black front, black backing plate, black dock bezel, black hold switch, and black headphone jack. So it is an all black pod. That's why I call her Blackout. And yes, it's a she. I give my pods names because I can, and it helps me remember which one I'm talking about. So right now, like I said, I have 1,000 tracks on it, and I've listened to every single one of them already. But that's over the course of multiple days, since 1,000 tracks of my music is approximately 3 days worth of music. So that's what I've been working on. That's why I haven't uploaded much, because I was working on getting the parts for Blackout, getting Blackout torn down, getting all the new parts in, building her up, and I would like to thank Elite Obsolete. He thankfully had stock of the backplate, the hold switch, the dock bezel, and the battery that I needed, and then I purchased all my other parts from iDemigods, just because some of the prices vary between the two, and iDemigods with all the other parts, the click wheel, this, and the front plate, it was a little cheaper, and iFlash Solo was cheaper there because it was on sale, and I got it for $22. So it was just a little cheaper to go with some of the parts from EOE and some of the parts with iDemigods, so that's just the mixture. So now we'll get into the games for these guys. So the games that are 3 is, I believe, iQuiz, which tests your music, like what music you're, or what time period your music is from, what is it playing, who composed it or wrote the song or sang it. It's a music quiz game with your library. Then you have Klondike, which is basically Solitaire, a fancier version of it from our lovely 5th generation. And then Vortex, which is a much, much better, in my opinion, version of Brick. It, instead of, here, we'll power these two suckers on. Here, if we go into extras, it is, games, and, oh, the 5th generation had more games. Well, here, can I lower my brightness? Yes. Oh, no. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna lower. Can you all see that now? Alright. Yeah, y'all can zoom in a little bit. Alright. So, get out of it here. We'll go extras and then games. So, you have iQuiz here, Klondike, Vortex, Brick here, stay awake, Brick here, Music Quiz, which is basically the older version of iQuiz, Parachute, which we all know of what Parachute is, and Solitaire, which is Klondike as the newer version of it. Now, Brick, we've all seen Brick. That is Brick. That is standard Brick. That is what Brick has always been. Now, Vortex, on the other hand, was way more advanced than this guy was. Way more. As y'all can see, it has a whole menu, new game, and you revolve around the outside of it. So instead, your click wheel is the moving part, and every time you move around the click wheel, it's a circle, and your goal is, it's like Brick, just in a circular format. That's all it is. So we'll exit out of that. But there are more games for these devices, but it's been lost out into the world. So there's probably like 15 other ones out there, I think. The 5th gen was capable of it, but I think it was the 5.5 gen that really they launched games for it. 6th gen and 7th gen they carried on, but early before they stopped production of the 7th gen and 6th gen, they completely stopped about the games. I think iTunes 9, they stopped putting games, sorry about that, stopped putting games in their iTunes library. So all of that is lost into the world. There used to be Tetris, Sonic, all sorts of retro games designed for these pods. But they're all lost to the world right now, because right now, the modding community, the software people, hardware people, anyone who is interested in iPods know that we cannot get to them right now because we haven't found a way to replicate them or brick them, which means break into them, replicate them, and disable the Apple ID function so the rest of us can have them all. And right now, they're available, or they were available, they're out there somewhere in the world, but we can't access them. Now, if you're really into games and you don't like, you want more games, you have Rockbox. Rockbox is secondary OS for pods. We'll talk about it actually soon. That's going to be next week's video. But Rockbox is for people who either want more games or want different themes. And the themes, I've actually experimented with this pod on my 5th gen, but it didn't go well because the music that I have is all on iTunes, and iTunes doesn't like sharing stuff that I've bought through iTunes. And now, to show you what Rockbox looks like, I have my iPod mini. I installed Rockbox on here, and I found out that if you're having issues with just dragging and dropping your music files from iTunes, I know people are going to get onto me about this. Use Windows Media Player. I know everyone hates it. It sucks. But Windows Media Player sees everything that iTunes sees. Everything that you've purchased or own a CD of. And it copies it and puts it onto the iPod. It's that simple. Now, some of the music, it can get caught up. Rockbox, with at least the mini, it had issues with timing out, but out of my 1,000 tracks I have, it got up to 647 of those tracks. But let's stop talking about Rockbox and actually boot up the mini. I haven't used the mini in a while. You'll get this loading theme. And then this is Rockbox. You have multiple systems. Your clicker, I believe, no longer works, or I haven't found out a way to do it. We'll zoom in for y'all. Come on, camera. Alright, y'all just will have to see it. Alright. It does not want to focus on it. But files, a lot of people recommend just putting a folder with music, because that's the best way of remembering it. Go to music, and as you can see, it is quite literally full of music. But it still has room, because it's like its brothers and sisters, whatever you want to call it. It has 128 gig storage. All of my pods, every single one that I've modded, has 128 gigs of storage. Okay, that is just what I've chosen to do. I prefer 128 gigs. I think going 256 is a little out there, but if you have a massive library, you can do 256. I don't have one. My library is slowly growing. But I only do 128 gigs. So, these are all my pods. I didn't mod this one. I've modded this one and this one. Those are my pods. Blackout over here is my daily driver. And Blackout's cousin is here. Now, Blackout was a graphite pod where it's a black quick wheel, graphite color here, graphite here, and then silver backplate. Its sibling would be the Touch. First generation Touch, which was actually a steal of a deal. I got it for 15 bucks. The seller said it was a show model, which I believe. Its battery's still going. But it's a brick. And it's all working. It's not on a Rare OS, sadly. But I got it. It's now added to my collection. And I can show you my whole collection. Oh, a little too far out. Of all my Touches. We'll go first gen here. Second gen. Fourth gen. This is the 5th gen. And that's the 6th gen. So I'm missing the 3rd gen, which goes right in between this guy, and the 7th gen. This is my collection of the Touches so far. A lot of people say, what's the point of collecting the Touches? The Touches are cheaper than any other. I mean, the Mini, it's only 2 of them, so once you get one, your collection is almost complete. Hate saying that. The Classics get really expensive. I mean, I paid 80 bucks for this, but the total project was worth 225 bucks. It gets expensive with the Classics. This guy was $140. It also gets expensive. So, and first generation and second generation classics are way out there. First generation and second generation classics can cost up to people about $500 a pod. And I don't have that money, so and the only place to get them is eBay, and people like to scam others and whatnot. So I don't have, I'm working on the touches first, then I'm going to move to the shuffles, then move on to the nanos, because the nanos are cheap right now, and the shuffles are also cheap. So if you're looking into starting a collection of iPods, my recommendation is get the mini, get the 2 minis, or just one of the minis, I don't care. Then move on to the shuffles, then move on to the nanos, then move on to the touches, and then go into the classics. And if you decide I don't want to continue collecting all these halfway through a process of one line or another, then that means you didn't waste all your money on the classics, because the classics get expensive. But that's what I've been doing recently. I've been building a pod, whatnot. I've been on my own a lot, or not on my own. I've been relaxing, taking it easy. School is now, my new school schedule has really screwed me over. So if y'all realize I'm not uploading for a certain amount of time, that's because I'm in school. And school really takes priority over this. Now if you're asking, why am I recording this video if I'm in school right now? It's because I finished class early and I have lunch for 2 hours. So that's where I've been, guys. I've been working on Blackout. I was going to film the process of making it, but it quite literally came during my lunch break and I didn't. My camera was dead, forgot to charge the battery, and I'm like, I don't feel like filming right now, so I'm just gonna do this. But that's where I've been. I've been working on pods. Just so y'all know, more videos will be coming out more on a normal schedule weekly, just dependent on the day. I have to edit the video with whatever I want to use and whatnot. It's just dependent on how my schedule works. So if my schedule is not busy, I will upload a video that day or whatnot. But that's where I've been, guys. Thank you for sticking around at least. And if you wouldn't mind, share this video with anybody you think is interested in tech, because I'm going to talk to my partner about moving this channel away from just iPods and talking about phones, laptops, desktops, monitors, calculators, cameras, whatnot. And I think after a couple videos, this channel is ready to move on from just iPods. I have to talk to my partner about that. I haven't talked to him in a while. And, his Discord name is Connor X. Connor, if you're watching, or Connor X if you're watching, just message me. Hey guys, I'm back. That was weird. I forgot that this camera has a 25-minute recording limit. So, guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna clip this at the end of it. And if you want to see more out of this channel, just tell me in the comments. Comments are enabled now. Tell me in the comments. Share this with people you think are interested in tech, because hopefully soon we're moving away from just iPods, although the channel is mainly going to revolve around iPods. We're going to keep it the same name, but we're just going to move a little out into the broader range of technology. So thank you for watching. Share with people you think might be interested in tech, and I'll see y'all next week. Thank you for watching. See ya.